What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Dick Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Dima, YouTube music. There is a saying that goes something like this: money makes the world go round. And we all want money for different reasons. But most notably, we want money to survive and to buy the things that we dreamed about. We all have so many goals and dreams, but limited time and limited resources. It's hard to really build the life you want to live working at a job or even working at a high-paying profession. So how do you get around that? Some people are smart. They know how to mix the land, capital, labor, and create something that we know as businesses. And when you can create a business to leverage all of the things that serves a need in the market, it is a potential chance that you can get wealthy. And I said wealthy. Notice that I did not say rich, because there's a difference between being rich versus wealthy.
Essentially, being rich means that you will have money for a short period of time, but being wealthy means you will have sustainable money, so your money will last for the long term. The rich may have a lot of money or pretend to have a lot of money, but the wealthy don't worry about money. That's a pretty big difference, not worrying about money and just having money.
Shout out to Tiffany Thomas, your wealth mentor, for that clip. A lot of people think being rich is wealth, but it's not. A lot of us work hard every day, and if you make even $10 million a year, well, you're very rich. You're not wealthy. Wealth means when you don't even have to get up that day and you have money. That is what P. Diddy has, or that's what he had. You see, Diddy is one of the more talented entrepreneurs in the black sector in the last 50 years. Not only did he start Bad Boy, not only did he start Sean John, he started some other companies or leveraged partnerships with some companies that made him and his partners a lot of money. One was with the Ciroc deal. Now, Ciroc is I don't know, depending on the market, it could be considered a premium market here in Africa and a mid-range product in America. But Ciroc was a company that was doing terrible, owned by Diageo. But when they went to P. Diddy, well, he started to make it pop. The problem was he didn't get the ownership that he wanted in the brand.
You had a historic relationship with them, 15 years, going back to Ciroc, DeLeon. I never even heard of Ciroc until you started doing the commercials, blew it out the water. Then you had DeLeon, and everything looked like it was on the up and up, owned by a black man and all that. So a lot of people was confused when the lawsuit came about. You shared some information with us when we came to your house that we wasn't aware of. So can you really talk about that? Because I think it's a very interesting case study for entrepreneurs to understand.
Definitely. The situation's in the courts now, so I'm gonna share with y'all what I can. This is all public record. But basically, I was called to have a meeting with Diageo, and they knew that I was kind of killing things in the culture, and they were trying to fix their diversity problem. And through that, a meeting was set up, and I told them, you know, I want to be an owner, that I have these ideas from promoting parties at Howard, just remembering that I would always get the door and never get the bar. And so I said, I have aspirations to have black-owned brands owned by black people behind the bar and a part of your organization. They're the biggest distributor of spirits in the world, biggest maker of spirits in the world. So we get a test project. I'm looking at their portfolio, and they say we could start something from scratch. But I'm looking at their portfolio, and I remember one night I was having a great time with Ciroc. I had some Ciroc. It was made by grapes. And I remember, you know, having just such the greatest time. And so the light bulb went off in my head. I said, I don't want to wait and develop nothing. Let me show you what I could do with Ciroc. Let me show you how I could turn your revenue around. They were losing $40 million a year. And I went and turned it around and took it to 2.6 million cases from 40,000 cases. Okay? And so this is something that's never been done.
Clap it up for that.
Now, after that, he was also involved with DeLeon with Diageo. But he had a problem with Diageo, sued them, and then once all of those things came out about him, he settled his stake in Diageo for whatever it was for an undisclosed amount of price. Diageo maintained Ciroc and De Leon. But I'll tell you, there's a Ciroc brunch here in Kampala, Uganda, and every first Sunday of the month it is packed. And without Diddy having that impact, nobody here would know what the hell Ciroc was. They owe him everything for that brand. But fast forward, Diva! There was also another brand that Diddy had, which was the Revolt Network. Some of you guys have seen your favorite podcasts on there called Drink Champs. It had also had a variety of other shows that targeted the African American community. And it was also a great way for Diddy to make money in which he slept. Okay? That means that he didn't have to wake up and go there. It ran by itself. And people don't know how hard it is to get a business to do that. Most people have to work, even if it's a lot of money you're making every day or every hour. If you don't work that day, you don't make money. But for the fact that Diddy did it with Bad Boy, leveraged a partnership with Diageo and Ciroc and De Leon, he did it again with Sean John, and then he also did it with Revolt. It's amazing. Most people can't get one business do well in a year. Diddy did it with more than 4 companies. These companies are wealth builders. They make money in his sleep, especially the partnership he had with the liquor brands. De Leon, Ciroc, it made money while he was sleeping all the time. Whether he did it or not, it just kept coming in. But here's the problem. Diddy just sold his shares in Revolt. Now, why did he have to sell? I don't know. This is right after Diddy had a problem with the police from the federal government coming into his home in Miami and in Los Angeles, and then going through his things, arresting his sons for some time while he was on his way to the Caribbean. But the reality is that Diddy's behavior outside of the business market has caused him to lose elements of his wealth. Just think for an example, all right? You have a 401k. Most of you know what a 401k is. You put your money in every month, and depending on if you have an employer who is decent enough to match up to 6%, you will also participate. That is your source of wealth, okay? So just imagine that you did something that was so stupid on an allegation, you had to sell your assets in your 401k for less than what they were, or you had to quick sell your house for less than what it was. You wanna know what that would be? It would be a loser of your wealth. You can't generate the wealth that you built in that business because of either bad connections or bad mistakes that you have made. And this is the thing that people got to understand about wealth. These things that you build, businesses, real estate, relationships with people, all of these things are tools for you to build wealth in the future, but you can lose it by dealing with the wrong people. And if anybody needs to understand this, black men need to understand this more than anybody. Diddy was a very young man when he started Bad Boy, okay? Yes, he had Andre Harrell at Uptown Records, rest in peace, Andre Harrell. But outside of that, Diddy's one of the first guys in the hip hop world that made that much money. Remember, the other guys didn't make the kind of money that Diddy made, Dre made, Suge Knight made, a whole bunch of other guys P down the line. These guys were the first to the frontier when hip hop became really profitable. And nobody was there to tell them how to spend their money and how to act and how to behave. Plus the culture was there. You had a lot of guys from the streets also putting their hands in hip hop. And of course, some of these guys ended up being friends and bad habits came. Diddy could have never predicted that things that he may have done 20, 30 years ago would make him such a bad person today, or at least be perceived with a bad person today. So he has to sell Revolt because, well, nobody wants to do business with Revolt anymore. All of the sponsors, and sponsors, guys, are a way that a lot of these guys get money to do things that they want, especially somebody like Diddy. He probably has a Rolodex full of sponsors. If it's Diageo, if it's Chevron, if it's Cadillac, these people want to spend money with Diddy's target audience, and in turn, he really gets to make money to keep his network afloat. The problem is, once you're somebody like Diddy with a bad name, well, these people don't want to be associated with that owner, so they stop spending money. So then the business starts going down. Diddy probably didn't want to sell Revolt, but nobody wants to be associated with Revolt. People were quitting and everything like that. So he had to sell Revolt for what? Probably a lower cost on what it was worth. And we got to understand as black men that as we are dealing with situations in life, things that you can do can hurt you forever and it can kill your wealth. Now, Diddy, I don't know what else he has, but he sold off 2 things that kept money coming in for him. All he had to do was play his cards right. Don't be like Diddy. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shay Dude Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate it for all you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.